welcome back. Let's take a few minutes to sit quietly. We are working on something in Hunger, Hope, and Healing that I want to be able to bring into this yoga practice this morning. So take a comfortable seat. You can rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. Let your attention start to center in the present moment. In the present moment, even with your eyes closed, you can kind of sense the dimensions of the space that you're sitting in. Give your brain a moment to acknowledge that. And even with the eyes closed, you can sense the kind of light that's filtering into your space. Without opening your eyes, you can sense also the sounds that don't need to be named, but actually are happening. And you might sense the temperature of the space you're sitting in, the feeling of the temperature on your hands or your face. And then the sense of smell, the sense of taste. Again, noticing whatever's present there without having to change it, without even having to name it. And then start to sense the internal. So we have this sort of proprioception, the space that we're in. We have this sensory experience, and we also have this interoceptive experience. So sense on the inside what's happening for you. And perhaps a sense of your heart rate, your breath rate. If the inner body feels restless or grounded. And for each of those things that you're noticing, see if you might also sense the central experience of your attention for each of those things. So the space, the temperature, the sound, your breath, each of those things is something that you have noticed. From where in you is that central kind of witnesser or observer? And breathe into that part of yourself that is able to observe, that is able to, with a sense of equanimity or spaciousness, see the various rising and passing of sensation. And as you connect the breath in this way, now start lengthening your inhale and also your exhale. Invite your breathing to help you come even more and more into the present moment. So there's more of your energy or more of your concentration drawing into the present and not being then scattered or hijacked by the sort of surround sound of life. And then please raise your hands to your heart. And notice how that further centers your mind or gives you the chance to focus more deliberately. And with appreciation for the chance to be on your yoga mat or to make this choice for practicing, when you next exhale, bow your head to your heart. And release your hands and open your eyes. So there is something that we're working on right now in Hunger, Hope, and Healing, and I'd like to refer to it as the ability to allow certain emotions to come. And for those emotions, bigger, smaller, more comfortable, less comfortable, for the emotions to rise, but without us losing that inner sense of that in us, which is giving attention, that in us, which can hold space for, and also that in us, which gets to choose from time to time where our attention goes. There will be ideal times for our emotions to be like 100% in our care. And then there'll be times where our emotions need like a little bit more space because we have a responsibility. We might have a professional duty or a parenting duty, or we're driving, so it's not a good time to be totally overwhelmed. And we don't want to be in a kind of suppressing of those emotions in such a way as they might then lead to food behaviors. Or sometimes when people suppress or repress emotions, they then kind of explode somewhere else, often inappropriately. So I'd like us to be able to sense the emotion and then set it kind of nearby and ask permission from that emotion to give us some space so that we can be on our yoga mat right now in this yoga practice to get renewed, to feel more clear, to be able to revitalize, and then turn to these sort of various emotions or the causes for emotions and turn to that with more compassion or curiosity or an attitude of calm. So, good morning. You have something to offer? You want to make a comment? Yeah? Okay. You can be here. The embodiment of mischief, I like to call her. So if you sense that there are some emotions that are present for you, and we can just choose one to work with as a kind of practice, so it becomes a tool that you can use with a variety of emotions. For example, perhaps you have the mental state of distraction, and behind that state, maybe there's some anxiety or some apprehension or some, maybe there's feelings of overwhelm or maybe fear that if you don't handle the distraction appropriately, or if you could just take care of it right now, then you would feel like you're more present. But the thing that it is actually needs attention beyond the scope of this morning. So sometimes we have these distractions, and behind the distraction, there is an emotion. Fear we won't accomplish it, anxiety about doing it, facing the uncertainty of it, having elements of the unknown that make us feel like self-doubt or apprehension. So let's wrap all of that up into something, and then you can kind of place it at the side of your yoga mat and acknowledge that it's there, but ask it for now to kind of see you making the effort in your yoga practice. Okay, and so having done that, now place your hands out over your knees like this and hold the knees firmly. And as you inhale, raise up through your chest and your heart and open your throat. And then exhale and curl down like you're doing cat pose. Round your spine, draw the lower belly in, bring your chin in towards your throat. And then inhale, slide forward and up, opening like when you do cow pose. And exhale, curl down and in. If you keep the arms straight and almost taut, it kind of acts like when you've got your the tent stakes in the ground. And it would mean that each of the stretches has a little bit more traction or a little bit more capacity. So inhale, roll up. Keep your arms straight and strong. Notice your throat, your neck, the sides of the neck. And exhale to curl down. And then come back up to your simple seat. So you're upright, cross your left hand over your right knee, walk your right hand behind you. And as you twist to your right, look over your right shoulder. Now, from time to time, you're going to acknowledge that that little ball of emotion is sitting close by, and you've asked it to give you space for your yoga practice. You can even kind of give some reassurance to that little ball of emotion that you are going to come back. You just need a little time to renew, a little space for recalibrating. So come to center, cross your right hand over your left knee, take the left hand behind you, lengthen up through your spine and twist to your left. You may, of course, be discovering that there's places in your body that feel stiff or tight this morning, and always greet them with appreciation. There's no sensation in the body that's trying to be unkind to you or sort of critical of you. So greet the sensations with appreciation. And then exhale, come around to face forward. And now sitting upright in a place that feels stable for you. We're going to do this breathing practice where we go briskly in, we spread the fingers, and briskly out, we come down with fists. Now, sometimes you can think of, it's like you're recharging the battery of courage or strength or empowerment. So it is a powerful practice, and you're recharging, like you're overcoming apprehension or doubt or the like apathy or lethargy, overcoming that. Okay, so with the inhale, now inhale, go up, and exhale, come down, float the arms out to the side, and return your hands to rest in your lap. Notice what your breathing does and how your mind responds. We're going to repeat that. And this time, as we get to the end of that, we'll do like an inhale, we'll exhale. Then we're going to inhale and suspend the breath for a moment and think of like puffing up the chest. There's a yoga pose called Rajakapotasana, and it means the puffed chested pigeon. But you can think of like lifting your chest and your heart. When you have the inhale suspension, it's like emboldening your heart or brightening your heart. And to suspend the inhale, you do snug the low belly in and up to give the chest a sense of expanding like a hot air balloon. Let's do it together. Now inhale to go up. Exhale, float the arms out to the side. Bring your hands down to your lap. Let them rest, hands on your thighs. And then inhale to suspension. And then release the tone of the suspension. And exhale, release slowly. And then deeply relax. Notice how your body takes care of you right now. The breath on its own will know what to do. And so we're asking for that indwelling, let's say, equanimity to come forward again. Sometimes it feels like it's buried under lethargy or self-doubt or apprehension or anxiety. So we're just asking for that to come back. So clearing the windshield of the mind, as it were. So now let's come into table pose, please. And so in table pose, place your hands so they're going to be shoulder width apart. And then from where your right hand is placed, pick it up and stretch your right hand well forward of your left hand on the floor. And as you reach back with your hips, they're not going to drop down to your heels, but reach your hips back. Let's touch the left elbow down. Relax the weight of your head and turn your head to your left. And as you're stretching back with both hips, especially reach hip back and see if your breath can make it down into the right low belly, even into your right hip joint. Keep the right arm active so you're stretching the side of your waist and making some space inside for you to feel into your equanimity or your courage or the place in you that wisely can welcome your present moment experiences. And then inhale, press into your left hand, return to table pose. Then step your left hand well forward of your right hand. Press your fingers into the floor, reach back with your hips. They're not going to child's pose, just coming back a little ways. Lower your right elbow and turn your head to your right. And as you breathe in, lengthen your left hip back away from your left rib cage. Try to sense the space you're creating on the inside. It's like a space that you're giving to yourself. And then press into your right hand and inhale, return to table pose. And exhale, press into cat pose. Inhale, come into cow pose. And exhale to cat pose. And then once more, inhale to cow pose. And curl your toes under. And let's exhale, raise up to downward facing dog pose. And in downward dog pose, notice that you can actively press down from your heart through your arms, push your hands forward to raise your hips up and back. Relax the weight of your head and focus on the strength of your arms and the flexibility of your upper back and your heart. Of course, you might feel like your hips and hamstrings are stretching a lot. In that case, it's actually better to bend your knees and focus on the spine and the breath and the strength of your arms and hands. And then walk your hands and feet towards each other until you're kind of in the middle of your yoga mat in a pose called Uttanasana, the standing forward bend. Now, as you're here, it's okay to put your hands on blocks if the floor seems too far away. And as you inhale, lengthen your heart forward, lengthen your spine forward. And then exhale and bow deeply towards your legs. Let's do that again. Inhale, glide forward. You might acknowledge that little ball of emotion that you set aside and appreciate that it's going to stay right there for now. And exhale to bow over your legs. And then inhale, sweep your arms wide. And exhale, bring your hands down in front of the heart. And then the palms of the heart lengthen up through the crown of your skull. And sense yourself now standing upright in this courage or bravery or commitment. And then root into your heels. Inhale, sweep the arms wide, raise up. As the arms come up, hold your right wrist with your left hand, and exhale, side bend to your left. Press down through your right heel and turn your head to your right. So you could rest the back of your head on the left upper arm if your arm is within reach for your head. Root down into the right heel print. It's kind of like a place of grounding or stabilizing. And then inhale, rise up. Okay, exhale, float the arms wide. Just imagine you're setting down whatever burdens would impede on your practice right now. And inhale, raise your arms wide, come up overhead. This time, hold your left wrist with your right hand. And exhale, side bend to your right. Root into your left heel, so the side waist is more. Keep the left outer hip toned so your hips don't sway to the left. Turn your head to your left. As you're breathing in and breathing out, try to sense again the space you're granting yourself on the inside. And then exhale, rise up to center. Reach up with your inhalation. And exhale, take the arms wide and come back down to Uttanasana. So we arrive in Uttanasana and let the torso cascade down over your thighs. Keep your legs strong, please. And as you inhale, glide your heart forward. And then exhale to bow deeply over your legs. And then last time, inhale, rise up to standing. And exhale, hands to your heart. Connect to the part of you that knows you can experience emotions. You can allow space for emotion. You can appropriately set emotions aside, knowing that you're going to come back to them. And reassure the parts of you that you are in the driver's seat. And connect to the part of you that knows that your needs are valid. Your emotions are valid. You want to tend to these things from a place of calm and curiosity and also compassion. And take a wide stance now. So a wide stance means that your feet are about the length of one of your legs. So it'll be like an equilateral triangle, right? And so that means that if you have shorter legs, the distance between your feet is going to be closer, and longer legs a little bit farther. You come down to, this is called Prasarita Padottanasana. So come down to this forward bend, walk your hands forward. So you're going to stretch out from your fingertips and reach back into your hips and your sitting bones. Relax the weight of your head. Breathe in deeply. Exhale and tone the lower belly. Now, keeping your legs stable, walk your hands in a half circle to the right. Draw the left hip back and lengthen the left side waist. So again, making space for yourself. You're granting yourself the space in the inner body. And then a half circle over to the left. As you walk over, plant your right fingertips, draw your right hip back, and grant yourself space in the inner body on the right side. And then exhale, walk back to center, fingers out in front. Enjoy a deep breath in. And exhale, tone the body from your pubic bone upwards through your abdomen towards your solar plexus. And then walk your hands back towards your feet and go ahead and place each hand directly under the shoulder that it belongs to. So right hand, right shoulder, left hand, left shoulder. Now turn your left heel very slightly out to the side. Turn your right foot directly to the right. And then bend your right knee. So you're going to come down. It's like a warrior two pose. And as you bend your right knee, take your right hand, place it up against the right knee, and press your thigh back towards the wall behind you. So we've turned the right foot completely to the right. So if you're on a regular yoga mat lengthwise, go ahead and face your right foot parallel to your mat. And as you press the right knee open, you might feel the right side of your waist. You might feel your outer right hip, right hamstring, right inner thigh, even the right lower back. Let's breathe in and create a sense of space on the inside. Using the legs in a strong way like this is also helpful for remembering how we get grounded, where we have our sense of strength and stability. Let's breathe in one more time. And then exhale, come up to center, turn your right toes in so your foot might be parallel. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Now take the right heel, slide it slightly out to the right. Turn your left foot directly to the left. Bend your left knee. And take the left hand up against your left knee to press your thigh back towards the wall behind you. I sometimes call this the yoga football pose combo, because in football, when they're on the scrimmage line, they keep facing forward and they've got their one hand to the ground. So your torso is facing forward, in my case, towards you all. And as you press your left thigh open, try to imagine the left leg becoming parallel to the yoga mat, if you're on a regular yoga mat. And breathing in to create the sense of space that you deserve, the space and sovereignty to know yourself really deeply, and then to work with your sensations, your thoughts, your emotions in a kind and loving way, with compassion, with wisdom. Let's inhale back up to center. We'll make both feet parallel. Place your hands now again beneath your shoulders, and let's bow towards the legs in Prasarita Padottanasana. Shift your hands to your hips now. And then inhale and rise up to standing. And let's do heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe in, and come to mountain pose. Like, okay, you're up here. Can you sense your inner plumb line and also your inner strength? Acknowledge again that we've given this little ball of emotion a place to sit nearby, and it's actually noticing you doing this self-resourcing practice. So this little ball of emotion might be getting more trusting of you and your ability to tend to thoughts, emotions, and feelings. So now we're going to come down to the floor. It's helpful to have a yoga block and a couple of blankets. So let's take the block like this. Lie on your back, please. Put the block between both knees, like this. And when you take your knees down to the side, like so, if your knees don't make it to the floor, that is the reason to have the blanket. So there are people for whom the upper back or the shoulders or the lower back or the outer hips are not as flexible right now. And so when we say, let's take the knees down to the side, they feel like they're sort of hovering. This whole part of the body is not, it's not twisting, it's actually hovering. And so in that case, you would want to have the blankets, mine are on my left right now, you put them where the shins are going to land so that you could open the torso successfully, supporting your arm on the floor. Okay, so that's the use of the blankets if you need them. Let's take the arms out into a T shape. Snug your knees up to your chest so this twist has flexion. The knees do come towards the heart, and then bring both knees down towards your right elbow. And you could choose to place your right hand on your left knee. Twist the inner belly to your left. The reason we have a block between the knees is to further support your hips and your sacrum and to stabilize so that your knees are actually stacked. The left knee is directly over the right knee. And rotate your head to your left. And begin breathing in and out at a pace that feels really comforting. And during your exhale, let's ask for the habit of self-doubt or the habit of self-apathy or the habit of like self-punishing or pressuring. Let's ask for those habits during the exhale to be kind of washed downstream. May those things leave us such that during the inhale you can feel again your kind of bravery or courage to welcome the emotions that might happen in the course of this day. With your next exhale, raise your knees and your block up to center. Bring your head to center. We're going to go to the other side. So if you're using blankets, go ahead and shift them to where you need them to be. And then bring your legs down to your left. Since I'm not using blankets, I will shift mine out of the way. Place your left hand on your right knee and then twist to your right. Do your best to keep your hips stacked so your right hip is over your left hip and the right knee is over the left knee. Again, we're going to twist from the inner belly. So the bones of the pelvis and the bones of the thighs, even the kneecaps, they're all stable so that you're turning. Sometimes we say the word churning, like churning butter. You're turning the inner belly. Twisting poses are used for a number of reasons. One is for digestion, including digesting our emotions. So allow the breath to come and go like a gesture of kindness or curiosity. Remind yourself that you're releasing the sort of adverse habits, the unhelpful habits, and cultivating bravery. Okay, and then with an exhale, bring your head and your knees to center. Let's take this block, touch the feet down to the floor. Place the block nearby. Open your arms out into a little slope, like a little downward slope, and relax your mind. And noticing what you're able to release and what you're able to bring in for yourself. And just see, what is the mind doing now? Okay, now turn over and lie on your stomach. And considering this little ball of emotion that you asked to set aside, let it again see you in your yoga practice, acting bravely, trying things on. So what we're going to do here is a chest and shoulder stretch that we do from lying on the abdomen. And then we'll do a pose where you lift up away from gravity. This is an energizing pose. but it's also a releasing pose. After doing it, there's a quality of release. So when you lie down, you're going to take your left arm out to the side like this and turn your head to your right. And then take your right hand, place it flat on the floor next to your right shoulder, so your right elbow is up off the floor. Pick up both shins and both feet, and then roll your shins, knees, hips to your left, and stretch the left shoulder and left chest. Press down with your right hand against the floor to support this rotation. Roll the left shoulder up away from the floor. It should not feel like it's digging down into the ground. Okay, take a deep breath in. And then exhale and roll to center. Take the right arm out to the side. Turn your head to your left. Place your left hand on the floor so the elbow is up. Bend both knees. And then rotate your feet, your thighs, your hips. Roll the right shoulder up off the floor. It should not feel like it's pressing into the floor. Take a deep breath in. That's your shoulder girdle, your upper right chest. And then exhale and roll down onto your abdomen. Now this time, take both arms out to the side and center your forehead. Root down through your feet and your knees. The knees are touching the floor. Press your thighs down, press the tailbone down, and then inhale and lift your chest and your heart, your arms and your hands. Lift the base of your skull and look forward. This is called Salambasana. We'll do it for about 5 breath cycles. On the inhale, the pose is going to lift. On the exhale, keep the strength of your pose, but acknowledge that it's going to lower very slightly. Okay. And then inhale, it lifts again. It's like being a bird. And you have the air underneath your wings. Once more. And then exhale and make a little pillow of your hands like this. Rest your head down. And relax the back of your body. So this pose called Salambasana requires a lot of strength in the back body. And some of us are losing that strength because of our sitting so much and the head forward and head down with computers and phones and all these things. So having strength in the back body is really important for our posture. It's important for our overall musculoskeletal health. Also really helpful for breathing and for the lungs. And it is a boost of confidence. We call these kinds of backbends are called antidepressants, or you can think of them as confidence builders. And that's because of the energy it brings into the body and the nervous system. So take the arms out again in a T shape. Bring your forehead down to the floor. Press down with your feet, your knees and thighs, root your tailbone. And with the legs grounded and strong, inhale, rise up. Gaze a little bit forward. Allow the exhale to do what it does, but keep the integrity of the pose. So the inhale is going to float a little bit. The exhale will descend a little bit. And then exhale and come down once more. Make a pillow of your hands. Rest your forehead on the back of your hands or turn your head sideways if you prefer. Now notice, in contrast to being up like that, where you had a lot of energy to use and expend, maybe the breath was challenging. Right now, your breath is taking care of you. It's also automatically an abdominal breath. You cannot do a chest breath in this position. Okay, let's roll over onto the back, please. And as you come over onto your back, it's a good time to reach for one of your blankets to go under your knees and one blanket to cover with. So if you take a blanket like this and you roll it like so, that can be used for the knees. You place it where you think your knees are going to be. Take the other blanket and have it at the ready. Once you lie down, I like these little efforts. Sometimes we get it on the first try, sometimes we don't, but these are the efforts to like fling the blanket over the body. So, oh, look at that. I got it on the first try. Okay, so this is to rest in Shavasana. So when you first get set up, take the arms out into a T shape. And with your inhale, squeeze your feet and your hands into fists. And then exhale, relax your feet and your hands. And do that again. Inhale, squeeze your feet and your fists. And exhale, relax. And do that one more time. This is called squeezing and releasing. And sometimes we have to do this again to invite emotions to take their seat and give us the space to be on our yoga mat for renewal. So now I'm going to ask you to let yourself really drop inside for relaxation. Allow your mind to be at rest. This is not a time for sorting anything out. It's a time for resting and renewing. Allow yourself the gift of these quiet minutes to take refuge from all responsibilities and activities. To know that you are deeply caring for yourself and that you deserve this kind of care. From moment to moment, allow your body to get heavier with relaxation, the muscles more limp, your mind more deeply at rest. And if a thought or an emotion might come by, we just treat it like a bird in the sky for right now and let it move through. Allow whatever sensations, whatever thoughts come through, while keeping yourself, your mind and body grounded. Whatever passes through, it is light as a bird in the sky. Moment to moment and breath to breath. Allow the gift of deepening back into your own resources. The deepening back into your own wisdom and your bravery. Notice the groundedness of your body. Allow that to deepen. Give your mind permission to be there with your body as it deepens. You welcome this deepening once more. And notice when your body goes into that quality of grounding or resting, does your mind go with it? Do you allow the mind to follow the body? And then you can kind of slightly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Go ahead and bend your knees. Roll to your side. Press yourself up to sitting. You may sit on your rolled blanket if you like that, or on a bolster, of course, or a meditation cushion. And then when you come to your seat, and rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. And You're going to come upright for this short period of meditation and see if you can sense there is your self. We call it the sovereign self or your central self. And you've asked this ball of emotion at the beginning of practice to just take a seat, like a part of you that holds that emotion can be here and has observed you making this commitment. Notice now your internal relationship to that emotion or to the distraction that might have stirred the emotion. Sometimes we have the activating event, and we have the emotion about that, and we have the emotion about the emotion. We have the story we tell ourselves about the emotion of the distraction. So try to stay really centered in the part of you that can observe all of this happening, just like you observe sensation in your body. As you observe each layer of that, remind yourself that all parts of it can be considered valid. We're not rejecting or judging any part of our experience. And then you can try to sense for yourself the emotion about the emotion. And how far back does that kind of emotion go in your life? Like the feelings about the feelings. How far back does that go in your body or in your life? And if you were in the presence of someone else who was having this kind of emotion about their emotion or the feelings about their feelings, and maybe it was someone for whom it also went pretty far back in their life. You were in the presence of a child who was having emotions about their emotions. Would that elicit a kind of compassionate response from you? How would you want to be with them? And how would you like to be with yourself? The part of you that has the emotion about the emotion. And so there's a poem from Rilke that I will quote in finishing class, and I'm going to quote parts of this poem. It goes like this. God speaks to each of us as he makes us, and then silently walks with us out into the night. These words we dimly hear. You, sent out beyond recall, go to the limits of your longing. Let everything happen, beauty and terror. No feeling is final. Don't let yourself lose me. Here, give me your hand. God speaks to each of us as he makes us, then silently walks with us out into the night. These words we dimly hear. You, sent out beyond recall, go to the limits of your longing. Let everything happen, beauty and terror. No feeling is final. Don't let yourself lose me. Here, give me your hand. So as we go into the day, we want to bring with us that inner self that is able to greet the emotions and the parts of us, and also the emotions and the parts of others. We want to bring that capacity in ourselves to our relationships and to our relationship with ourselves as well. So your hands to your heart. Appreciate the part of you that you kind of set aside, and it gave you the space to be here on your yoga mat. And make a commitment to understanding your parts and giving them the support that they need. And sometimes you'll have to let them know, I don't quite know yet what to do, but I'm working on it. Okay, thank you, everyone. Namaste. And of course, for those of you watching this practice on YouTube, if you have any comments or questions about the practice, please leave them in the comment section below the video. And it's always helpful if you like the video and also subscribe to the channel, because you'll get notifications when the next video comes out for yoga practice. So thank you once again. Enjoy your day.